and the press that we forget to look at those elements. Here was a young girl who was trying to have a good image and be involved in all of the right activities, and that probably up until this point was viewed as an ideal student. She was on the student council. She was a cheerleader and clearly well liked and highly thought of. And so I believe that there was a lot of emotional things that was going on. I'm torn on how to feel, because there is still like you said, Sarah, there are other options, but it really didn't seem like that for this girl, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, but it didn't seem like that she saw those other options, or that she felt like that those were valid for her. And now I'm sure you could tell by the father asking what happened, and he was so concerned. And I'm sure that there's some things that they're probably looking at thinking, oh, did we put that pressure on her? Because we want our children to do well and exceed. And being from a small town, there also is
the stigma,
the image. If anything happens to scandal, and everybody knows, and so there is pressure that can come from that on a young teenage girl. I don't think that there's any good ending to this story. And they said that she was having trouble finding a job, that during this 2 years that have passed, that she hasn't been able to find a job. She is working for the family law firm, and that she is going to a community college. So still seems like that she's trying to work on herself and do what?
Launching into adulthood.
Yeah. Is she? Well, this is the what do you call this generation? Is it the millennium?
I think
what is this generation?
Millennium.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've heard a lot about the kids at this age. They can't launch. They're in the house. They can't get out. They can't find a job, or they can't hold down a job. And they want to go to college, and then they don't want to go to college, and they're real wishy-washy. And that's one of the things that sets them apart from previous generations, is they just don't seem to be able to get themselves together to go out into the world.
I think that they were indicating, or what the way I took this was that because of what had happened, and this being a small town, that she couldn't find a job. I mean, because it seems like that this girl was more than capable, that she was in school and did well and was in all of the different organizations. And so it seems like that, or the way I took it was that the issue with that was because of with all the publicity and what had happened.
Oh, yeah. Well,
she couldn't get a job. No one would hire her.
Well, they're thinking her, right, they probably labeled her as the baby killer, and who wants to hire the baby killer? Yeah, and you can't represent anything.
Cheerleader baby killer.
Yeah, cheerleader baby killer. Yeah. Well, oh, geez. I can see both sides. I also think about the parents. They are absolutely probably godsmacked over this. Had no idea, and you can't say, well, why didn't they know anything? Because this is the nature of a young person, is to hide it from their parents, and they want their parents' approval, and they certainly wouldn't get it if this was a situation. But I'm still stuck on this whole thing of her not seeking some other outside help. So something stopped her from doing that. Was it because she is a horrible individual and planned to kill this baby all along, or was she emotionally dwarfed? We don't know what was going on with her.
To me, she sounds like she acted in, I never wanted this to happen, and I'm not going to deal with it. And then the moment comes when you don't have a choice to deal with it, and all she did was conceal and try to make it go away how she could think of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that you make a very good point there, Sarah. And it really does seem like that she was in shock, and and one of the things that they asked what she had planned to do, and she said, I really don't know what. I really don't know what I plan to do. I mean, it was like she really didn't. I'm sorry. And this is something that's really important to this, is that she went into labor early. I think at 33 weeks, I believe. And so she told them that the reason she had not told her parents is because she was planning on telling her parents. And of course, there is no perfect time. She's waiting for the right time to tell them, and that she had went into labor before she ever thought that she would. She still thought she had some time. And so I think that and especially with her not getting prenatal care, even if you have prenatal care and you're under the care of a doctor, then you still don't know exactly when that baby's coming. And so you could see with the baby coming a little bit early that maybe she was planning on telling them and just couldn't do it. And then the baby come, and it sounds like she really possibly was just kind of in shock and just kind of went with the motions and made some really bad decisions. And
one more thing that occurs to me is how at age 18 she was already adult age. But it's interesting with modern times, if your doctor is calling you to just your cell number, not like in the olden days to a home landline where her parents would, if she was living with them like a dependent still at age 18, that whole you're an adult but you're still a dependent type of thing.
Well, that's where that doctor-patient confidentiality comes into play, because that has been in the forefront of a lot of legal cases now. And now doctors are a lot more careful about and that's something you think about that. Okay, they didn't feel like that they should call and tell her parents, but they felt like that this was compelling enough that they should call the police. And that's kind of
I wonder if she was listed on her parents' medical benefits, and part of her not going to appointments not to alert the medical benefits.
Sure.
Get the invoices. What do you mean our daughter's listed as?
Yeah, how could she explain an ultrasound if her parents didn't know? And that she was on her family's.
There would have been a bill that came in. There had been several bills that would have come in. So that's interesting in itself. And they don't open their bills. So how many times did she actually go to the doctor?
She only went one time, Jerry. She only, that was the whole, that was the thing. The doctors had called her multiple times, but she went for none of her prenatal care. And she didn't go to her ultrasound or anything. Okay. She wanted this to go away.
I bet that one appointment was when she found the news of even having pregnancy as her.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. That was when she was found out she was pregnant.
Deny, conceal, make it go away, make it go.
Block it out. And then, she was probably trying to find a plan. And then, lo and behold, the baby comes early. And she's even, she still didn't have a clear plan. And then she delivers this baby and panic. I can't help that. With me being a mother of daughters, my heart goes out to her. But I think about that. This newborn, how tragic, how horrible for that. It's mixed emotions all the way around.
She doesn't look she's not like my body shape where I actually could disguise pregnancy. I have plenty of pre-padding where it would be a little harder. I haven't really looked at her pictures, but she doesn't strike me as someone who could easily hide having your belly growing that far along.
Well, my guess is with her already having an eating disorder, my guess is that she probably, that's one of those people that really watched her weight and everything. I know that there was no concealing with me, but I do have friends that were tiny and petite, and they just didn't gain very much. Right. They just didn't get real big until the very end, and then she did go into labor, a little bit early, and so and then
she went through that by herself.
And she delivered this baby. When she went to deliver, she was. She had to have been scared to death, and that has to be factored in too.
You may not know the answer to this, but do you have any idea the point of the baby being delivered and the point of the doctor calling cops? Like how much had it been? Like a year or 2 years? Like
no, I don't believe so, because in July 17 is when they found the baby in the yard, and so it couldn't have been. There wasn't that much time lapse. Several months, I think 2 or 3 months.
I wonder if the case would be handled differently if she was just by legal adult age handled as a minor, for example, if she had been younger than 18. I
Well, absolutely, because then she would have been treated as a minor. Actually, that's usually when the DA makes a decision. Are we going to pursue this as adult charges, or are we going to, because that could have been some. Then her records would have been concealed. All of this wouldn't have been public knowledge, and when she turned 18, it would have went away.
Wow.
Oh, that's the other thing that they are saying, the implications. If this baby was stillborn and she is charged, they're saying that there could be implications, the change of how that's handled for women who give birth to stillborn, the fact that she is being criminally prosecuted. And so they're saying, that's some of the controversy and the attention with this case, is because they're saying, that's going to be, there could be implications for women for years to come if she is found guilty of murder and was stillborn.
Where don't just look for a fallback excuse that no one's going to question.
Well, you know what? I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, if you go back and you think, okay, here she is all by herself, she has this baby, right? And the baby's born, and it is passed away. Well, okay, I'm home free. The baby's died. Nothing I could do about it. Can't change anything. I can go bury it in the back, try burning it, and then go bury it in the backyard. Nobody will ever know anything. Okay, that's one scenario. The other scenario is, the baby's born. It's alive. Oh, crap. What do I do? Well, I'm just going to kill it now. So those are two different, really extreme personalities there. One that goes, oh no, I'm going to put it and I'll bury it and then just go on with my life. What difference is it going to make? No one needs to know. To the person that turns out to be a horrible murderer of a child.
With that as well, I believe that I read somewhere that she said that she may have squeezed the baby just a little too tight. Thinking, someone squeezing, but, she could have been, she just went through labor without any kind of medication. She could have been holding the baby and had over its mouth, and really not aware of that. I don't know, but and you're right. But I'm wondering about her emotional maturity, because that second scenario, where she could have done something, it's like, she had never been pregnant, could this girl have went on through life and nothing like this ever have happened? That's really another scenario. Mm-hmm. You've got, either one didn't know this happened and the baby was stillborn and, she didn't want anyone to know, or two, she had the baby was alive, and she just is a baby murderer. Or three, she had this baby was alive, and she panicked and made some really poor decisions as a just barely adult, and thinking, my parents are going to be mad at me, my friends are going to turn away from me, my school, I'm not going to get kicked off of all the activity, what seems like major consequences to a high schooler that just seems like little things to us, but that's major in a high school age girls. So I don't know. That's what I don't know that there's any easy answers, and I myself, I'm conflicted on how I feel about it.
What about all the other stuff that's involved with having a child, the placenta and the umbilical cord and all that? Do they know what happened to that? Did she ever say?
That she cleaned it all up. She
throw it in the trash can, or did she bury it?
Well, they said that she mentioned being on the toilet and that the baby had fallen.
That wouldn't have gone down the
toilet.
but that wouldn't have gone down the toilet, I don't think. Would it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It seemed, having gone through 3 births, I consider it such an involved process. I could not imagine being in my own restroom giving birth without assistance. I wouldn't be wanting to cut my own umbilical cord connecting me and my newborn. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine. I could imagine a home birth with a bunch of midwives, but I certainly can't imagine by myself.
And that still seems scary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I'm wondering about her state of mind after this. I'm just wondering, was she really capable? Or was she making You know what I mean? Because like the human body will do some, when you're in pain and when you're in shock, these other mechanisms kick in. And so I'm wondering if she was in a real sound state of mind. And of course, I guess medical doctors or something would be better that could answer this. But I'm wondering if this was a clear decision of someone in a sound mind state. This girl we know the magnitude of